Sports Extra. From 7 to 8 p.m., highlights of local sports around the Cayman Islands. Sports Extra.
It's amazing to see the improvement of the team.
Sports Extra, keeping you informed.
Good evening and welcome to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dionne Anglin. Tonight on Sports Extra, we will be chatting with the Department of Sports once again in celebration of honoring Women's Month for the month of March. Mita Day, Department of Sports Sports Coordinator for Women is here. Mita.
Hello. Thanks for having us again.
Stranger.
Stranger.
Jade Pickern, Department of Sports Fitness Coach and National Squash Athlete. Good evening. Good evening. And joining them is Tristan Wessenhagen, volunteer for the Department of Sports Women's Initiatives and Fitness Programs. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome. Good to have you here again.
Thank you.
So, Tristan, you recently hosted the goal-setting session, and Jade hosted the squash event, which was the last event for honoring Women's Month celebrations. All right, so we'll hear all about that in a minute. However, in the second segment, we will be hearing from Cayman's professional boxer, Jaden Eccleston, his coach, Floyd Trumpet, and manager, Mark Woolard. So Eccleston, for those who may not have heard, Eccleston delivered a knockout performance at Jamaica's A Glove Over Guns Initiative Fight Night, bringing his professional record to an unbeaten 3-0 after defeating Jamaica's Mason Brown on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that as well. Stay tuned as we take the short break. We'll be back right after these messages.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. Oh, don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Fellas, ladies, it's time to level up your self-care. Ocean Deep Mobile Massage. Pure bliss from the comfort of your own home. Imagine pure relaxation, Swedish combination, hot stone, ventosa, plus body scrubs, mani-pedis, even waxing, all without leaving your home. And here's the deal, a 90-minute full body massage for just $50. Book now. WhatsApp 924-4159 or email oceandeepmassage21@gmail.com. Gift certificates are also available because self-care is the gift that keeps on giving.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, sight screenings, spelling bees, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2024-2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman. Where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. Me today, Jade Pickern and Tristan Wessenhagen in the studio representing the Department of Sports. So this year saw an impressive lineup of events for honoring Women's Month by the Department of Sports. A Women's Empowerment Walk, change to #Acceleration Night, International Women's Day Wellness presentations, Box Fit session, an intergenerational games night, a power bar session, a stretch and recovery session, a goal setting and self-love class, and a squash event, all in 1 month for the month of March for honoring Women's Month. And of course, it was done by none other by Miss Meeta Day. And
With the help of
with
many
the help of
including
Jade
the
McKeown
two
and
people
Tristan
around
Wilson
him.
Harrigan. Yeah, and of course many others, of course, and you can discuss that as well. With all that being said, what inspired the diverse range of activities hosted by the Department of Sports?
Well, first thing, we always try to appeal to all the different demographics. So one demographic might like more like the fitness type stuff, but then some might prefer stuff like the squash, and the box fit, and then you had the goal setting and stuff. So we thought we'd do something that would appeal. I mean, I already had these in my sight from last year. I don't just plan. I already pretty much know what's happening next March in my eyes. And I mean, I have it formulated.
Yes.
So I thought diversity was good, and each year we keep trying to improve. You see what gives and what doesn't. Although I have to say we've always been lucky that we've had good support. But yeah, you try to include a lot of diversity that you can hit all the different demographics and offer different things. And we'll be looking to do that again next year.
Definitely. Maybe we could have like a netball night, a netball tournament.
You know, we did that before several
did?
times.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
did netball. We even
I missed
target
that one.
We even target. I did one for one for like women 40 and up,
Yes.
and we had teams. And then we also did one where I had the primary schools. We choose children from the different primary schools and had them on teams. So it was 4 teams.
Nice.
Coach Irvin coached one team. Coach Molly coached one team, and Coach Laverne coached one team, yeah, and they were coming from like West Bay, East End, Bontown. We mixed them up, and that was pretty good. And I remember we had, I think it was the then Chief Officer Jennifer Ahern
Yeah.
came and did the ball toss and that kind of stuff.
Ah, you're
yeah.
right. I remember it now.
It was good,
I
yeah.
do
And
remember it
these
good.
were children, 10, like 9 and 10.
Yeah.
That was so cute.
It was very cute.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a shooting competition for them too. We've done a number of stuff like that. You remember I used to do the All-Star night for basketball as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done cricket events. We've done a lot. A huge variety of events.
Congratulations, by the way, on having the net being named after you at cricket.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge. And
I didn't even know that.
didn't
Congratulations.
know, yeah. I know I put her on the spot. She doesn't like that, but congratulations. It's well deserved.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Jade, we also had you host the squash event, which was the very last event for the month of March.
Yes.
How did that go?
Yeah, it was really good. I think we had about 20 females that came out, and
We had some men as well.
yeah, we did,
I
and it
saw that.
was a really good event. We had a mixture of kind of team building games and squash games, but also drills to just kind of get them comfortable with being on the court and holding a racket and holding a small ball that doesn't really bounce too much. So all these different things that they might not have been used to, but I mean, throughout the whole night, there was so many smiles and laughs, so it truly showed how much of a great event it was.
Yeah, you had some new people there as well that never tried the game of squash.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. And you had a mother and daughter there as well.
Yes, some mothers from our fitness group. You know, there's a number of people from the fitness group who said, "Oh my gosh, we completely forgot about the squash." Or when we finished work, it was 7:00. They could have come. We were there until 9. We packed
Yes.
up at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, people didn't want to leave. Yeah.
Jade, how does squash and fitness training empower and build confidence in female athletes, you think?
Yeah, I just think the combination of the two. So the kind of activities that we were doing were like team building activities.
Yeah.
They
That relay was fun.
yeah,
It
there's
really
like a
was.
relay, and then they had to do like a rock paper scissors game, which is good, and people got competitive too. So kind of increasing that competitive spirit, but you know, at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. And then the squash aspect was trying to increase their technical side. Hand-eye coordination is something that doesn't get practiced that often. So yeah, I think the combination of the two was put well together.
I like the rock, paper, scissors. I've never seen
Yeah.
that like that
Mars
before.
comes up with Marlene. Marlene
Marlene.
comes up with some awesome games. She hosted as well from the South Sound. And Marlene is really a champion of squash and everything fit.
Yeah.
It was an
So
awesome
true.
night, and Tristan jumped in as well. He refused to get on court. I
I
think
had
he
my
deliberately
flip-flops
came,
Yeah.
but he came by to show support as
That was
well.
deliberate.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
But speaking of Tristan, you held the goal setting session. That was the segment. And that was a couple of weeks ago. I think that was like
That was
second
on
to
the-
last.
That was on the 22nd.
Yeah.
with
What
Angela.
inspired you to host goal setting?
Well, the session actually went a little bit different. It was like a self-love and goal setting
Yes.
session. And then the self-love component was given by Angela Seeley.
Yes.
But she did such a great job that I
It was
barely got
awesome.
through it.
You didn't get to go
So, mind you,
It aligned with all that you
it
had.
aligned
at
with
the
all
end,
that
yeah.
we had,
Yeah.
but the specific exercise tailored towards goal setting, we didn't got through that. But that's going to be another workshop in the future. But the thought behind it is that, life is fast. Life sometimes gets harsh. We get caught up in things. So why would you only set your goals one times a year? And why?
The first of the year, right? That's when we set our goals.
Correct,
Yeah.
window, and how often do you actually follow up with
Right.
those? So for me, it's actually a habit to review my goals and/or objectives on a regular basis, and that's kind of what I wanted to introduce/reintroduce to the group. It's not that we have never done it before, but it's been a
We
while
have done, yeah.
since
we have
we've done that.
With just
on a
the fitness group.
Correct. So going forward, that goal setting part is going to most likely be an integral that thing part of the
It's getting night, the
program.
Dutch
It's
is
getting
coming in.
it's getting late, so my English is starting to get worse. But it's not only goal setting about fitness. It's just in general, just like the program from a holistic point of view, and it allows us as coaches also to help on a broader level also,
Yeah,
and
when
have a little
people
bit more
set
depth
what they
depth
want
in
to
the
achieve.
in the programs and stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of that, how do you believe setting goals can empower women both in sports and in life?
It gives clarity.
Yeah.
If you're working towards a goal and you know what the goal is, and you have a support group around you that can help you support you achieving that goal, or might have some resource or people in their network that can support you, that really greatly helps you to achieve those kind of things. Like I said, if you set goals once a year, I think most of us are guilty of it. We start first and foremost, we are all going to go to the gym. Everybody gets a gym membership. The gyms get rich, good for them. But
Weight
most
loss?
of the time,
Weight loss is always on
Correct.
the
Yeah,
goal
well,
setting.
we're
Right.
about to hopefully jumpstart something there, because I reached out to Andrea again to say it's time
yep.
for us to do something, and perhaps we could call it a reset.
hmm
I think that will help a number of people, and definitely help me. I did my reset from yesterday because today's the first,
Yes.
and let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome.
so we're all guilty of sliding off.
What was your goal for the new year, Jade?
Ooh, that's a good question.
See,
Probably more than that, yeah.
see.
Yeah, quite a few goals. Kind of put myself out there, be more confident in all that I do. So,
And that you have been,
yeah,
lady.
thank you.
I have to
I
say
think
that.
so too.
Just being on this platform every Tuesday, I see it.
yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
'Cause she's usually very shy, and you're
She is
stepping
shy, but-
out of that. Yeah.
But she's, I mean, from the time that you were an intern, you were always a hard worker. But
Yes.
I thought that your one thing was that you didn't put yourself out to be the lead. We discussed that, and you have definitely improved in that area.
Mhm.
All right, and then another event we spoke about before, but we're going to touch on it again. The hashtag acceleration empowerment walk. How did that go? How was that for you guys? And is that something you plan to do in the future?
I think we will have to.
Mm-hmm.
That was I thought it was amazing. Jade, and Tristan, those women were. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. You could see them grow within themselves. I mean, we had people who refused and said, "Oh, I'm not going to do this," and they did. There were some who didn't, who said and they didn't. But there were people that, you could see that they've grown, and the confidence and that kind of stuff. That was an awesome evening, and to have the powerful lineup that we did. We had Reverend Mary Graham,
Yes.
because last time we did gratitude evening at the same time as the games night.
Right.
You remember
Yes.
the intergenerational games night? I think you came
I
to that.
went to that one, yeah.
But we separated this time, and we put the gratitude in the women's empowerment, and that was awesome. And then we had Lydia there with her book,
Nice.
and then we had former Miss Universe, Miss World, 1992 was it?
1982.
82, yes. And then we had Miss Universe, present Miss Universe, Reagan, or
Named it in 1982.
that's her mom, Teresa.
Your mom. Okay,
Yes.
okay, yes.
She was Miss World and Miss Universe.
Yes.
And
Oh.
I must say, the only one to get to the top 12 in one and the top 8 in one.
Look
And
at
she
that.
won Miss Amity and Miss Personality in both.
Look at that.
That's amazing.
See,
truly
these are
amazing.
stories we need to hear more of. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. And what sort of feedback did you receive, Mita, pertaining to all these events, especially from your department itself?
Well, I think it was awesome. I think we received, the ministry was very pleased. DCO Watler and Mrs. Ebanks, acting assistant director for sports. We got great feedback, Jade, you would say, and from the
Yeah.
public, Tristan,
Absolutely, yeah.
everybody absolutely loved it. It was good.
And
The
with
room was packed.
yeah, every room was packed, right?
Yeah.
I liked was it the stretch and recovery? That was
Yes.
it. That was a.
You
Would I
came
was
to
the
the
stretch
show?
and recovery one? There's so many of them. Hold on.
Yes.
I was at the power bar. It was the power bar.
Yes. Did
That
you
was-
do the box fit?
I did do the box fit as well.
Okay. The stretch was good as
the
well.
power bar was very hard.
Yes.
I did not like it.
It was hard.
Yeah, it was hard for me.
What was the weight?
I don't
you
know.
were-
It could have been just I had a rough day because it was
Yes.
just very busy.
Yeah.
And then after work, you just come straight into that. I was like, oh no. But it was. But that's not to say that it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
It was
It was
very
good.
The ladies
It was-
were professional.
Yes.
They were on point. I just think my body was like, no, no.
Yeah, it was an
But it
awesome
was.
workout.
Yeah,
From what
it
I mean, I
was.
was taking the pictures, but I have attended Tracy Hargrave and Marion Pandua's classes at the World Gym,
Yeah.
and the two of them are very good.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they're really good. Both of them actually, it started off with the power bar, and then Marion Pandua took over. I don't know what you would call that, but that was some good workouts. You know, it's like
Yeah,
a lot
it
of
really
core and like dumbbells.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
because you
upbeat
did
too.
it. Yeah.
It's pretty upbeat
Yeah.
too.
Took
Yeah.
quite a little bit.
I prefer the first one.
The
The
one.
power, I like the power bar was better for me
Yeah.
personally.
Okay. Rather than the dumbbells and
Yeah.
other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because of my back,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
It was
You
an
have to
awesome
adjust.
workout, and we're so grateful to people like all these people who come and are guest coaches, because it
Yeah.
breaks up the whole
Yeah.
thing, and then we're able to invite the public. So it's not just about the people in our fitness group; it's open to the public, and yeah, it's been good.
And the stretch and recovery, were you a part of that as well?
I was, yeah.
That was pretty. I missed that one.
Okay, yeah. Dr. Christina did a great job, and
Yes.
she kind of tailored those stretches to kind of like us, everyday people that sit down in
Yeah.
a chair all day. So
Yes.
it was really good. It was, and I
Her
think
approach
everybody enjoyed it.
was really unique. She got Jay to stand up and in a relaxed position to show people when the whole body's relaxed, and then she said to them, "Do you notice anything?" And then it just took it from there and it was very interactive. Yeah, it was great. And I must say, we can't do these types of events without the generous donations of sponsors. So we need to thank people like Wellies. We need to thank CUC,
Right.
Cayman Airways. We need to thank Queen Gate, who sponsored like the ticket, the car for Dr. Jillian Lawrence, and then Cayman Airways sponsored the ticket. And Wellis did all the delicious food at two events, at the
Right.
International Women's Day event, wellness presentation, and also they did a tray again at the intergenerational games night. Without the sponsorship of those and the ministry, because I mean, if we had to pay to rent the hub,
Yeah.
that would have been a lot of money. And of course, our department paid for a lot of stuff as well. And then you had people like Wayne Panton, who paid for like all the photography and like 3 groups of decorations from Party Source. And then my friends like Joyce Shaw Macy and Paul Macy paid for the photography for the women's empowerment. We had a number of the Cayman Islands Netball Association donated their bus.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For transportation to move people up and down, and they also donated their bus for the East End youth group to get from East End down to the intergenerational games night.
That was fun.
That was another great night, and Youth Services Unit partnered with us and some of their young staff and help us to put together the games, the Jeopardy games for the seniors and stuff. It was fun, and then you had Miss Mel, head of Youth Services Unit, and James and Miss Anita and all the other people, Abigail, Imani, Abe, and Aliyah. Yeah, they all worked, and on the ground to make sure that everything flowed well. It was really a good evening.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Jade, I'm going to move to you on squash. What's next for you with squash as a national athlete?
So next for me is just improving my game as a whole. I'm still training, still.
Any
trying
tournaments
to
coming up?
compete. Yeah, there's a few coming up. There's Island Games in July.
Okay.
Where,
Oh,
my
yes,
eyes
this is
are.
an Island Games here.
Yes.
Yeah, where my eyes are currently set on. So, trying to get prepared as much as possible for that. But and a few tournaments later down in the year, which haven't been confirmed yet. So, but yeah, enjoying every second of it and just getting to work.
Awesome. As a fitness coach, what advice do you have for participants looking to balance fitness and play squash? I saw a lot of ladies holding their hip after just hitting the racket twice. I'm not calling any names. Oh, I'm kidding. You see how she looked at me like, it's not me.
Well, I think
Wait till Monday. Wait till Monday. No worries, Dionne.
I
Wait till Monday.
think some things to consider are things that we talked about at the wellness presentation. So warming up and cooling down properly.
Right.
It's important to prep yourself for exercise, especially new exercise like squash. Moving on a small court uses your whole body. You know, like a lot of people come off and say that it's sorest they've ever been. So warming up and cooling down properly, and then as well just listening to your body. Like
Right.
it's a lot to do off court training, as in fitness in the gym, and then on court, you know, and practicing that technique. It's not just running up and down or anything like that. Like it's a lot of racket skills as well. Yeah, right. So kind of just balancing the two, but then also listening to your body. Like if your body's telling you to rest, you need to rest.
Right.
Like don't feel bad that you're missing that morning practice when you still have that evening one to go to, you know. So, and then
Thank you for telling me I missed Monday.
and then proper nutrition as well. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
not just eating to eat, but eating to fuel your body.
Right.
So knowing what you put in is what will come out
right.
too. So you know, always mindful of those types of things. But yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And Tristan, back to you and goal setting. How do you balance ambition and realism when guiding participants into setting their goals?
Well, it's easier guiding participants than doing it yourself.
Right.
Now, I have to reflect always when I'm talking about myself, and at the same time, when you're working with participants, you really have to tune into the participant. And that's what I'm saying is like, whether we're talking about receiving feedback about all the programs, you can bet that next year we will have incorporated all that feedback into new programs already.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, are you guys going to do something with netball? We've
Right.
done it in the past, but we'll bring it back. We will bring it back in the future also. So, tuning into who we are working with, listening to what feedback we are getting or what signals people are giving directly or indirectly. Is what we are looking at in order for us to improve the programs. And that's why, for example, stretch and recovery is also one of those big recurring themes.
Yes.
Like Mita said, reset programs with Andrea are going to be very important because those are very, key elements into your whole well-being.
Right.
Like Jade said, understanding what kind of fuel you have to put into your body in order to maximize your energy levels, whether it's in sports or whether it's in life. I recently changed my entire diet again. I had to because my rhythm and routines changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty
If that's
cool.
an answer to your question.
Yeah. No, that's good. I'm still under changing your diet
Ooh,
thing.
okay. I'll share it, no worries.
Okay. Cool. I know
Do
you're-
you want to know?
Well,
I'll cook for you, no worries.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I have been asking all the questions, and I know this is just a roundup of what took place for the month of March. Is there anything that I may not have asked you that you would like to get out there to the public about this month?
Yes, I think we need to get out there that even though we had all those huge sponsors and stuff, there's always little things that needs to be purchased. And that's where some of my little elves, anonymous donors came in, but I have to call some of the names. People like Wendy Evans,
Absolutely.
Right.
who baked all the brownies,
Oh, yummy.
and her sister Gay, and then you had people like Norma Richards from the 6:30 a.m. group. And then we have to talk about the people behind the scenes, like Sarone and
Miss
her
Sarone,
team,
indeed. She loves
Glasgow.
it.
and Jessie. Jessie D. Dixon, because we have two Jessies, and then we had talk about Miss Iona Hardware and Norma Richards, and then I think Jessie had a friend visiting for the winter, coming to the sunshine, Joy Taylor. So she helped as well. I mean, they went up to the East End cottage with us, and they were the team. They were also the International Women's Day team that helped us. And then we also had Shakira from the ministry who helped there. And then we had people like Melissa who stepped in to help co-host.
Yes.
You know, because we were trying to empower women and bring people. You would notice for the women's empowerment that we had a lot of different people up there introducing people.
Yes.
Because we felt that it would have been good to expose other women as well. So I need to thank them, and I need to say a special shout out to the minister, to the Honorable Minister of Sports, Isaac Rankin, because after we did the International Women's Day wellness discussion, I had thought about doing a brunch on the Sunday, and I was running around. I think I raised up to $900, begging my daughter, every friend you could think about to pay for one person. And then I spoke to the minister and said, you know, I need $300, and he was like, for what? And I said, he was like, what? No, you can't do that. We'll cover it. So they covered the for 12 people. So that was awesome. And I mean, I think you were one of the people that I invited, and of course Jade was there. It was called Up Close with the presenters, and it was a really nice,
very nice afternoon.
Nice afternoon. It ended up being 14, but at least 12 was paid. And I mean, I'm sure if I had said it was 14, the honorable minister would have paid for it. But at that time, we were thinking 12, and then it ended up being 14. But it was awesome. So people like that, I need to say thank you to, you know, for all the help. We can't do it without those people. And James Miles, I mean, he's not here with us on these talks, but James has been so very helpful. He's our swanky drink mixer as well, because we want to mix it, but not as sweet. It's so many people, just can't thank them enough. And my chief officer, I really want to say thank you to her for all her support. She has been outstanding in her support of my wellness events and initiatives, and I am very grateful. And Mr. Watler, DCO Watler, has been very supportive as well, and Mrs. Laverne Ebanks, acting assistant director for sports, and of course Tristan and Jade. It's like if you all weren't here. I mean, last year, Jade, we were minus you, so you imagine all the work that we did
without you.
Now with you, so just imagine when I was operating without you.
Yeah, awesome.
So you've been such a huge help, and Tristan, I mean, and James, is really very, very grateful.
Thank you very much, and thanks to those who supported the events that took place throughout the month of March. And thank you.
One
for
more
your
event.
dedication.
We need to tell you about that event in East End. That was amazing. Okay, but that event was amazing. So you should report on it.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you should report on it. You want to say something about that event?
So the event was put on the ministry, supported by Department of Sports, and we did a Fit Mind event in East End, so the Sunrise Intergenerational Cottage for seniors. So it was really good. We started the session with kind of 20 minutes of fitness, and then we broke off into different games. So bingo, dominoes, then we had some more artsy types of activities. So yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it was awesome. And my West Bay fitness group came in a bus paid for by the ministry. They came from West Bay all the way to East End. So West met East, and I think this is something that we need to keep going. So maybe East need to meet West in West Bay or in Central. And I mean, that's what we'll keep building on. That was awesome. It was an awesome day.
Yeah, yes. I have a few ladies that attend my church that go to your fitness program in West Bay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. They speak very highly of the program and you. So let's not get into names. So, but thank you very much. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. All the best on your journeys. I know you have a lot planned for us in the next season.
Yes.
Because Monday was the last season. So what we're going to do now, we're going to talk to our national professional boxer, Jaden Eccleston, who is now undefeated. He's still undefeated, 3-0 in his pro career. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
The nation listens. The candidates speak. Subway presents the General Election Debates, live in studio on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and 93.9 in the Sister Islands. Every Monday and select Wednesdays from 7 to 10 p.m. 2 sessions. One powerful discussion. With Election Day fast approaching, hear what the candidates have to say on the cost of living, housing and development, economic growth, sustainability, education, transport, tourism, immigration, and more. Who has the vision? Who has the plan? Hear it all unfold live, unfiltered, and on the voice of the Cayman Islands. Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM and 93.9. Streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Visit Radio Cayman's social media pages for debate details. Brought to you in part by Cayman Enterprise City.
Also brought to you by Reflections, UCCI, and Yum.
Where your group works can have many sounds, telephones ringing, machines humming, or even waves crashing. But no matter what sounds your group hears when they're working, BAF Insurance has a health insurance plan for your group. You can always count on BAF for affordable, flexible group and individual health insurance plans with professional, friendly customer service. We are BAF. Call us at 949-5089. Your health is our priority.
The 6:15 Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
Find out about all the community happenings from non-profit, community fundraisers, church events, and more with Radio Cayman's Community Bulletin Board 3 times daily. Don't be the one to miss out on the latest information for events taking place every day on all 3 islands. Radio Cayman's Bulletin Board, brought to you by UCCI. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky. Choose your dream and blaze your trail today. And the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, serving the community for over 5 decades. The community calendar, also brought to you by Baptist Health International, healthcare that cares. Radio Cayman's Community Bulletin Board.
Shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. So, in case you did not hear, we're here with professional boxer, Cayman's professional boxer, our number 1 boxer. Yeah, I like that. Jaden Eccleston is here. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, and his coach, Floyd Trumpet. Good evening to you.
Good
and
evening.
Jaden's manager is here, Mark Willard. Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, it's always good to have Mark in the studio, and he's so fun. All right, so Jaden, you recently knocked someone out.
Well,
the usual for you, huh?
Excuse me?
The usual for you. Yeah. Congratulations on your win. Yeah, so now you're 3-0 unbeaten.
Yep.
3-0 in your pro career. So
Yes.
that's pretty cool. How do you feel?
Feel great, you know. Just keeping the wins, keep it going. Hope to bring it all the way to the top.
So I heard a story, I think it was yesterday we did that interview where you sent me that piece on your opponent being overweight.
Yeah.
32 pounds by 32 pounds?
32 pounds.
32 pounds. Now, that is huge. That's, aren't you supposed to, if you're overweight, you're not supposed to fight?
No.
But
You
they allowed
can
it
fight
because
you can fight
if he
it's
agrees to it.
Yes.
Okay, and you agreed to it. and you still knocked him out. You still won. That's pretty impressive. How did you prepare for this fight? Of course, mentally, knowing that Mason Brown, outweighed you by 32 pounds.
Well, we were prepared for the fight 100%. So yes, so.
But this time it was different. He was 32 pounds overweight.
But we didn't know until.
Yeah, exactly. So mentally, how did you prepare for that going into the ring?
Well, as we were ready for anybody. So the weight, we're just like, okay, we're gonna fight anyways. So.
And he was how tall? 6'3"?
No, he was way taller than
6'8" or
6'7".
6'8". That's huge. That's a big dude. How'd you take that one down?
To the body.
Body shot.
Your body shots. Yeah. Okay. What was going through your mind as you entered the ring, going up against a heavier opponent?
I was saying, I just need to work to get to his body. It's not really strange for me sparring with a guy that big.
Right.
Because same my fellow boxer Christopher Hurlston, he's just as tall.
Okay.
And I was like, I know how to get in.
Okay.
And work on the body.
The accurate tactics to get in there.
Yes.
Awesome. Can you walk us through the second round knockout moment?
Well, for the first round.
It was in the first round?
It was the second, but
okay.
I had a small slip.
Okay.
I also had a small slip in the first round. I thought that maybe gave him a little confidence. He probably thought he hit me or something.
When you say you slipped, meaning you actually slipped?
Yeah, slipped on the floor.
Okay. So he thought he hit you, knocked you down, maybe? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Then, go ahead.
Yeah, and then I just came out in the second round. I was like, I definitely have to put him back down. But even though he didn't hit me and put me down, I was like, I'm going to get him. So we went to the body, and he couldn't continue.
Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty good. Coach, how did you adapt Jaden's strategy to counteract Mason Brown's advantages?
Well, our main thing, as you say, was probably weight.
Yes.
But we know that we can beat him.
Yeah.
So I said, we're going to follow our plan, go to the body. If we get inside, hook to the head. And most people won't see those punches. But when we look at it in slow motion, you see that big body punch and hook to the head, have his head rocking back. So that was our strategy, go to the body, hit him with solar plexus, and he won't make it.
Were there any concerns about safety given the weight difference?
No safety because, you see, boxing is about skills.
Right.
And if I know I'm highly skilled compared to my opponent, I can give him a couple pounds over. It's no problem, really.
Okay. Awesome. And how did you assess Jaden's performance in this fight compared to previous bouts?
I gave him 2 out of 10.
2? That slip, did it?
Yeah, I'll take the 2 out of 10.
And why 2?
Because, like I always tell Jaden and Mark and people around, I said Jaden still have not really touched a quarter of his potential as yet.
He's going to say that when you touch the quarter, right? He's going to still say that.
He's gonna say
that's
that.
just coaches for you. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
But really and truly, if you see Jaden spar sometimes,
I have seen him spar.
Yeah, and if you see him fight sometimes, he just like
you think it's different from his sparring?
It's different from his sparring because most times he's the best person in the gym.
Right.
So like I told him, I said we need to get somewhere we're not the best, where you want to look at someone else and try to get as good as them.
What aspects of his training you think contributed to his knockout success?
I think Jaden is just an all-around good athlete, and he listens. Most times he listens. And if I say Jaden, we gotta run. The main thing is conditioning. We know you can box. You're superb at that, but we gotta work on that conditioning
and strength training as well, right?
A lot of conditioning and strength and conditioning training.
And what's that like? Your conditioning and strength training. What's that been like?
It's been going good. We do, not many. We don't lift like bodybuilders, but we do explosive work. So that's been good. And as I said, the previous fight I had a small injury. In this fight, I felt perfect. I'm sorry I didn't get more rounds or more ring time, so I could show more.
Were you like, oh, I knocked him out. I wanted more.
Even though the fight stopped, but it's a knockout. But I wanted to get a clean knockout to say,
Okay, I got you. And Mr. Mark, Mr. Manager, what do you think about the fight and how it went on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean it was short-lived, thanks to a fantastic shot to the body. I think I'm the most nervous of the team because
right.
I'm not there in the gym every day, seeing what goes on in the gym and seeing the work and stuff. So I'm outside the ring, watching, and I guess I'm the most nervous. And when he slipped over, I was like,
you got a little worried there, sort of.
But yeah, I mean, as Jaden said, the Mason Brown came out swinging in the second round. He got a shot of confidence, I think, from seeing Jaden go down, but it wasn't the punch that put him down. Come out swinging, didn't land one punch on Jaden.
Right.
And then Jaden got him in the corner and landed a body shot, and that was it. Good night.
Yeah, Mark, given the weight disparity, how did you assess the performance? What did you think, given the weight disparity from the very beginning when you found out? What were your thoughts? Did you anxiously want to cancel the fight, or what were your thoughts as manager?
No, I mean, I've got a lot of trust in Coach Floyd Trumpet. And I'm happy to be guided by him. Again, he's the one that works with Jaden and knows what Jaden's capable of.
Yeah.
So, I looked at him and said, there's a big weight difference. And he's like, no, you're right. We're fine.
Yeah.
Trust me. I trust him.
Okay. Awesome. So how do you plan? Where do you go from here? How do you plan to steer Jaden's career following this impressive victory?
Yeah, I mean, it's a team effort. So myself and Coach talk a lot about the path. This is Jaden's third fight in 5 months, which is very busy for a professional boxer. Obviously, we kicked off at Clash in Cayman in November with a stoppage win there. And then last month went over to Jamaica, got the win there. And now we've got our third win. And it's about building that record. But tougher challenges lie ahead. So it's step by step by step.
You guys, this fight was supposed to be in Trinidad, right?
We had planned Trinidad, but we pivoted.
Any particular reason? Something happened, or
no?
They cancelled it?
The opportunity was there in Trinidad still, but we had the opportunity come up in Jamaica, so we took that.
Okay, awesome. So Jaden, how does it feel to maintain an unbeaten 3-0 record?
It feels great, keeps you training hard, keep you training harder, because the more you win, it's like you win a fight, you have a lot of people watching and seeing all your weaknesses, and then they just come up to you, oh, you want to fight? I'm like,
You had people do that to you this weekend, over the weekend?
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to fight you? Because they saw you slip.
Yeah, well, whatever they saw. People watch fight, they see everything.
Yeah.
I guess I would say you have two ways to look at it. It's either you're boxing good and they're like, oh, I want to beat this guy.
Yes.
Because I'm better. Or they think they see something, a small weakness that they think they could.
Or you motivated them as well.
Well, could be.
Yeah.
But they're always doing it. They're like, oh, you should fight me next. I'm like, who are you again? It's like,
yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I know what you mean. What you mean.
Because they just, I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I don't make the fights, so talk to the other guys.
So, what does this victory mean for your career moving forward? And Coach, you can answer as well.
Every victory is important. As I said before, the first one is great. The second one, the third one, it's like everyone you find a greater purpose for it. So I would just say this one push to the next one, the fourth one.
And I know we spoke and you're trying to get him a world title fight. When can he get that? After how many fights?
So or he can get a world title fight
right now if he can?
15 fights.
After 15 fights?
We don't want to rush him into it too quick because those guys are at a high level.
Right.
Yep.
But we get some offers from the World Boxing Association to fight for the Caribbean title, probably in June.
Okay.
If everything goes as planned. And today I heard also that the WBC are also looking at him also.
Okay, that's good.
So, I mean, as we win fight by fight and they keep on seeing the record going on BoxRec, the people who are really in charge of boxing will start to take notice.
Yeah.
And eventually we will get where we want to be, where is in the big leagues, in Las Vegas and in Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
Where the big fight take place. That's where we want to go.
Nice. Sounds good. What's your current ranking in different organizations? Do you know his rank? His
We
current
haven't
ranking?
checked that as yet.
Yeah.
I'm not even studying as yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not even studying. All I want to do is get the Caribbean
Well,
title.
this is just the first three, right?
Yeah, so
So.
the Caribbean title, we're going to
Mhm.
put us in the top 20 at least in the world.
Mhm.
And then from there we go to the Latin title.
Right.
Put us in top 10, and from there we can start the party.
Do you know when that is? Caribbean title and the
The
Latin.
Caribbean title will be most likely in June.
Okay, this June.
99% in June.
Okay. And what are you ready? Think you're ready?
No, always ready. Whenever a coach says I'm ready, I'm ready.
I'm going to talk about your slip more than you think, okay? So
yeah.
you can't get that slip again.
Nah, it's
So I'm just making sure you're ready for.
Slip is good. Sometimes you slip, you're like, I'm coming. It's good sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, you sure fooled your opponent. Like you said, you got him hyped and then you brought him right back down, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So, I think it was maybe it was the other coach I was talking to. Sorry, because I spoke to two coaches as well, yourself and the other coach, Phil Moore. And what are your views on the other two boxers that fought as well for Cayman?
Well, me as a coach, since
Yeah.
I left the association.
They what? Say that again.
Since I left the
Okay,
association 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes.
I think it's the first time that they have a real coach.
Nice.
Who's doing real boxing training.
That's good to hear.
And going there a couple of times for the week and looking at the way he trained the boys, you can see he have an idea what he need to do. And I give him some ideas also and say, you need to do this, do these things. And we get on well. And I think the both boxers over the weekend, they did a tremendous job representing Cayman Islands.
Awesome. And what about you, Jaden? Did you give them any tips, or did they stay to watch you fight? Or
Yeah, they were there until the end. I watched their fight. I gave them a little.
Do you have any advice for them, seeing that they're still quite green?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Can you share with us what sort of advice you would share with them?
Well, I would just say they should keep consistent. That's all. Once they keep training with their coach, listen to their coach, getting fights, because they're great. They have good talent and they're training hard. And once they keep it up, they'll go far. They're very two good, determined boxer.
What's the most important thing that you say you've learned since becoming a pro?
Since becoming a pro?
Yeah.
Well, just listen to your coach.
Yeah.
Actually, listen to your coach more.
Is he listening? I mean, he says that a lot. Is he listening? Because coach still says that you have that potential that you give at sparring. You're not doing it in the ring.
Sometimes when I hit him.
Yeah, exactly. Is he? So he's not listening.
He's good. He's good.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid. Yeah. All right.
So the listening part, I would say it's the sparring and the fight. It's a bit different because in sparring you have room to make mistakes, but in a fight it's like you don't want to make any mistakes because first of all the gloves are smaller. Yeah. So
in sparring.
No,
in the fight.
In the fight.
Okay.
In sparring we use 16 ounce, and in the fight it's 10 ounce. So.
Okay. But that's to help. That's to help eventually with when the real night is there, right?
So
why do you do that?
The bigger gloves have two purposes actually. One, I won't hurt my sparring partner much because they're bigger puffy gloves.
Okay.
And it's heavier than the normal gloves, than the smaller gloves.
Okay.
And the fight gloves now are smaller.
So that one's to hurt.
More hit there.
Yeah.
Mark, have you ever boxed?
No.
No?
Don't like pain. But I do love boxing. So
you do love boxing.
Yeah.
You do love a lot of sports, Mark. You take. I remember you were at rugby as well. Do you still have any role with rugby?
Yes, I help them with their big annual event, which will be coming up in the summer. Big game 11, Cayman versus Bermuda. So yeah, I'm still involved there, but I've been involved in boxing
here
as
well, yes.
for a long time, and the opportunity to work with these guys and help Jaden's career. And
what is it you see in Jaden that you love so much?
A lot of the stuff I do is from the commercial business perspective, and he's such a lovely, humble guy.
Yes.
He's got the boxing skills, fantastic, great boxer, but it's when I introduce him to a sponsor, they love him. They fall in love with him straight away. And it's a lot of that. He's such a nice person.
Yes.
Thanks.
Does he have any sponsors? Do you have any sponsors?
And he listens to me. He doesn't
He
listen
listens
to
to the coach, but he listens to you. Any sponsors? Does he have any sponsors?
Oh yes. So I mean that's been growing
Yes,
since Clash and Cayman. We just signed our first brand ambassadorship with Track Automotive.
Nice.
And the companies that they own, the brands that they own. So that's a first. We've got the loyalty of Pool Patrol, who have sponsored us from the start.
Which patrol?
Pool Patrol.
Okay, no, I have kids and they watch Paw Patrol.
Oh, no.
So I'm just so when you said that, I'm like, what?
The leading swimming pool supplier
yes.
In the Cayman Islands. So Pool Patrol.
Pool Patrol.
Who've been with us from the start. DDL, the architect and property management firm. They've been with us from the start. Kroll, leading insolvency firm on island. They've come on board and are supporting us, and Bogle Insurance supported us this time as well, which is
very good.
Great.
It's much better than when you were last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very good.
Yeah, I've been working hard.
Yes. Awesome. And what's next? I know you spoke about June. That Caribbean tournament may be in June. What's next for him now after this? What's happening?
Well, if I can get a fight tomorrow for June, I'll take it. Yeah, but
well, if you keep getting out of these fights unscathed, you could fight the next day.
Sure. I mean, one guy from England called me. He saw our post on Instagram. He said, "Coach, do you want to fight in Colombia?" I said, "How? When?" He said, 3 fights in 10 days. I said, "Whoa!" So they go to those places, get quick fights, build a record quickly. But we may take this month off.
Right.
And like I told him, there's something to work on, technical things.
Okay.
And we're going to work at them a bit and then...
You care to share what they are? Can you share what those technical things are?
2 small things that he does. And I know why he does them. He look at one particular boxer who does them and he think it's great.
Okay.
So you don't turn his punch over all the time. And you don't rotate that hips all the time. So you can slim down a bit, take him back to the basics, back to the drawing board and fix that.
Do you tie his shoelaces together and make him chase chickens like in Rocky?
Man, we do all kind of
you
stuff.
Do?
Push cars.
Do you?
Yep, for sure.
You have before? Okay.
Push cars with coach steering.
Yeah. I can see it now. And Mark on the side, go! Okay, sounds good. So what are you looking forward to most, Jaden, right now? Besides rest. But you don't need it, actually.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll keep up the work because I still need to cut weight. So I guess.
What was the weight again that you were supposed to have for this fight, last fight?
I was supposed to be 190.
You were supposed to be 190? Okay.
190.
Awesome. Okay.
And the next, I'm trying to be at 185. Eventually, we'll go to 175.
How do you choose, or coach, perhaps it's you, how do you choose his opponents?
So like in amateur games, is just...
Come a little bit in the mic for me.
Amateur games, just go there and fight. Whoever they draw it. In the pros, we can have a little more leniency. We can choose what we want to do and grow him properly. So I just look around the place and say, okay, this one, look how we can take him on and build a record. So those first 3 fights were easy fights. And then we can look for someone, probably 5-6 fights now, who can give him 2-3 good rounds in it.
I wouldn't say easy fights. I would say fair fights because they have more fights than me. So it's actually fair fights.
And that's the next thing too, right? Getting him the sufficient fights, just like the other Caribbean, or not even the Caribbean. You're going to Colombia now. These kids get a lot of fights throughout the year. Yeah. How are you planning to for him to achieve that?
When I was Trinidad coach in the amateur level, I always tell him, I said, our problem is not skills. Our problem is preparation.
Yeah.
And once we are well prepared, we can beat them because I did with Trinidad team. We beat everyone in the Caribbean and in the Americas. So as long as they're well prepared, we can match them skillfully.
Was he going to come across any fighters that... No, I was going to say, was he going to come across any fighters in Trinidad that you may have coached, but that would be...
If they turn pro,
no,
I'll tell them don't do it.
Yeah. So is he better than the ones that?
The couple of guys I have that has his weight, and he's gonna beat them easily. I think he's sparred with Jerry now.
Yeah, Jerry's good.
Yeah, Jerry. One guy left there. He was champion twice when I left him, but I think Jaden is superior to him in skills.
You were saying you wanted to go down to 175.
Yeah.
Isn't that too light for you?
Well, coach said that's my weight. Say I'm chubby, so I guess.
He did.
Chubby.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
You think he has too much weight?
Yeah, at 175 he'll be unstoppable.
So do you lose power when you lose so much weight?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. He's naturally 175. He's just unfit right now. You get an abdominals there again.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. That's pretty
10
cool.
pounds and he's perfect.
Okay. All right. Last couple seconds before we head out. Anyone has anything you'd like to say, Mark? We've been bantering a lot over here.
Yeah, no, it's just a fantastic journey that we're on. A lot of it is down to making sure we've got the right backing, because most fights will, by nature, be off island, so we have to afford the travel,
yes,
the sanctioning fees, etc., that go with that. So that's the only thing that kind of potentially can hold us back, but we're in good shape. We're 3-0 very quickly,
yes,
and we'll continue to grow.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. It's always fun talking to you all. I like talking about boxing. This is good. Alrighty, so that's it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Of course, if you would like to be a part of our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextrakman@gmail.com. What's that? What's the email?
sportsextra@gmail.com.
sportsextrakman@gmail.com. Almost. Just testing you to see how much you're listening. All right, so you can check out our Radio Cayman Sports Extra social media pages to keep up to date with all sporting activities here on Island, and you could also log on to Radio Cayman's YouTube channel for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you to the Department of Sports who was in the very first segment. I'm Dionne Anglin. Good night, and God bless you.
Sports Extra. From 7 to 8 p.m., highlights of local sports around the Cayman Islands. Sports Extra.
It's amazing to see the improvement of the team.
Sports Extra, keeping you informed.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Low Cayman, Cayman right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.